Today we are going to learn about data types and variables. Also, we must know about values. So, I will start with values, then variables, and then we'll cover data types. So, here in this video, we will start with value or data, then we will learn about variables and then data types. Okay, so value is something related to the information. We process some data and data would give us some value. For example, if we are processing summation of 2 and 3, we get 5 as the value. You can also call it data. So data and value both are the same things. Now when we get some data, we have to store it in the memory so that you can use it in the further program. Every data to be stored in the memory location. So before storing data, we must have the allocated some we must have to allocate some memory to it. And also to make it easy, we used to give it we used to give the memory some name. Each memory location has its address, but the address are so complicated that you cannot use them directly. So we used to name them just to make it easier for us. So these names are the variables. So you can say that the variables are just the names given to the addresses or the memory locations, but and in those memories you can store data or value. Both are related to each other. Okay, now the next is the data types, which is also related to values and variables. Okay, data types or a data can be of different type. They can be some numerical values or some alphabetical orders or some decimal values or anything. So in C language we must have to tell that what kind of data we are about to store in the variable. Okay, so data types are broadly divided into two parts. So the two types of data types are primary data type and the secondary data type. So primary data types are also called the fundamental data types, and secondary data types are derived from the fundamental data types or the primary data types. So primary data type includes it includes integer, which are int, then we have character as the char, then we have decimals for the as float, then we have double, and then we have void. Okay, I will explain you these five data types in this video. And the secondary data types includes array, then pointer, then string, and then structure. After that we have union, and then we have enumeration. Okay, these topics are the advanced topics, and a whole new chapter is there on each topic, and you will learn about this later. Okay, let me start with fundamental data types. As we have seen in primary data types, they are integer data type, character data type, the float data type, double data type, and the void data type. Okay, first of all, let's learn about integer type. So for integer data type, you have to write int. We use int data type whenever we require to store any numerical value, for example 2, 7 or 20. So int is used as the data type for the variable in which you are going to store the numerical values for like 2 or 7 or 20 or 25, anything. But you cannot store any decimal value in the int data type. That means you cannot use int to store like 4.7. This will be the wrong. Also, when you declare a variable of int data type, then you know that this declared variable will hold only integer value. But along with this, you must know that an integer variable will use 2 bytes of memory. So if it is int, then it will use 2 byte of memory, and this memory will be of your computer. So if you have 5 variables of int data type, then it is going to use around 10 bytes of memory. Okay, now the next is the character data type. So to declare a character type variable, you must have to write char keyword, and char stands for character. So when a variable with char data type is declared, then it will hold only one character, and that character can be alphabetical character or any special character like plus or minus or multiply or divide or a, b, c or d or any other character. Or it can and you and it can also store like a space bar or enter and the values like this. And you cannot use char variable to store any integer. A char variable will use only 1 byte of your memory. So you can write like char will use 1 byte. Okay. Next is the float data type. A float type variable is used to store decimal values like 2.34 or 7.08. In this float you can store integer values as well. That means if you try to store like 5 in a float type variable, then it will be stored as 5 point it will stored as 5.0000, which mathematically means the same. So a float type variable will hold 4 byte of memory from your computer. Then double data type is similar to float data type. These data type will hold decimal values, and in many tutorials you will find float and double categorized under the same category because both can hold decimal values. And the difference come here is just of size. A double data type can hold a large decimal values with many decimal digits as compared to float. So we use one of them as per our choice. For example, the value of pi, which is 22/7, when you take it in decimal value, then you know it's a big value in decimal, and we used to round it off according to our need. So when you need 3-4 digits of pi in decimals, then you can use float. But if you need 6, 8, 10 digits in decimal value, then you can use double here. A double type variable will hold 8 bytes of memory. So you must be very much aware of the use of double because it requires a large memory if compared to other data types. And the last is the void data type. So a void means empty or null. We cannot use void to declare a variable because it is empty, and by definition variables are used to store values. So an empty variable cannot use to store values. So void data types is not related to the variables, they are related to the functions. We have a great section ahead on functions, and most of the things about void you will learn there. Here I will tell only that voids are used to declare the data type of a function, which eventually means what kind of value a function would return. In my previous video, you might have noticed that I have used void with the main, as main is a function. So using void with main means that main function will return nothing. A void do not take any memory, so it is of 0 byte. We know double is of 8 bytes and void is of 0 byte. Okay, now there is a concept here of modifiers which are used with data types to change the size and range of data types. I will cover modifiers in the next video class. Thanks for watching.